Hey YouTube, it is Ashley Nicole. How are you all today? Welcome back to my channel. Y'all, if y'all knew the struggle behind trying to get on this thing right here, this is the old way that I used to get on YouTube to like do my lives and stuff like that. And so I said, well, let me try this again just to kind of see how it is, or if I remember to do how to do stuff or whatever, just like experimenting, and it was a whole thing. So yes, I have, y'all can see I've been doing stuff today, but excuse that. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another live. Again, this is Ashley Nicole. I am a licensed therapist as well as a career coach. And on this channel, we talk about all things mental health as well as everything related to your career. So in my coaching practice, I help individuals kind of navigate career burnout, how to navigate pivots in your career, how to strategize when it comes to making your next move in your career. And sometimes on this channel, like in the past, what I used to do is like reactions to different things that were like happening, in social media or, in the news and things like that. Just kind of giving my opinion as a therapist, as well as a career coach on the topic. And so today I kind of wanted to do that. At first I wasn't going to do it, but I said, you know what? It kind of relates to some of the things I've been talking about when it comes to your career. And so I hope this is insightful for some people. I don't have a lot of time. And y'all know I always say, I got my notes. I got everything written down because I can't remember anything. And so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at, right? Okay. Okay. So I saw in the news, like, I don't know when it happened, but sometime yesterday or maybe like sometime last week or something like this, about information about the Breakfast Club and Just Hilarious, as well as another host on there. And so I said, oh, you come across things on social media. I'm like, okay, what is this about? And so they were talking about work stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me listen in. What's going on? And so apparently everybody probably knows the story by now, right? Just hilarious. And I'm just going off of information that I know. This is a reaction video, so I'm just giving my opinion on the situation, when it comes to my experience and expertise and knowledge when it comes to careers and working in a corporate environment and coaching people that work in a corporate environment. And so, as you know, everybody pretty much kind of knows the Breakfast Club. This is a radio show with Charlamagne and DJ Envy. Angela Yee used to be on there, but she has since gone to have her own show. And now they have Jess Hilarious as well as someone else. Her name is LOREN LoROSA. Um, and so apparently, of course, Jess Hilarious is a comedian from my understanding, but she wanted to be involved with the Breakfast Club. I heard her say this, like she on the Breakfast Club. And so during that time, though, she became pregnant and had to go on maternity leave. And during maternity leave, she chose, who her host would be in her absence. And LOREN LoROSA was that person. Now, from my understanding, LOREN LoROSA is from TMZ. She was a producer or something of that nature over there. So she had been kind of working in the news arena. And of course, doing news stories and breaking news stories. This is what TMZ does. And so when Jess Hilarious returned to the Breakfast Club, she kind of started to see some changes when it came to the dynamics with her coworkers. So this is kind of a little bit about what I want to talk about today. So we'll kind of get into that. Let me make sure here that I hope you all can hear me too. Let me see here. Okay. All right. So I think you all can. All right, perfect. Okay, yes. So this is what we're going to get into. Let me, look at my notes again. All right. So this is what I want to kind of talk about, right? I pretty much always stress that corporate is not, well, first of all, corporate is not for everybody, just like self employment is not for everybody, right? Um, However, corporate always seems to come with like this unnecessary drama. You know what I'm saying? Unnecessary drama, unnecessary things that, that are occurring, right? It's always this game that you have to play. And so, what Jess was saying when she came back, she was like, okay, I'm starting to see things are different. Lauren's kind of doing my segment, and I was supposed to be doing that segment. What's going on here? Like, give me some information about what's happening. Did things change when I went out? But she's really not getting any feedback, right? And so let me know in the comments like what you think about this situation based on your own experience if you work in the corporate environment. Uh, okay, let's see. Okay, y'all, I'm looking for my notes that I wrote down. Let me see here. All right. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is the corporate game and why the game is not for everybody, right? Because in knowing what we know just on social media about Jess Hilarious, right? She's a comedian. And so my thought about the situation was she said that she wanted to be on a Breakfast Club, but I'm wondering if she really thought about, and she may have worked, I don't know, in a corporate environment before, but did she really kind of think about this particular space being a corporate environment? Or did she look at it as, yes, it's a contract because she mentioned that it's a contract job, right? But did she really look at it as I'm going into a corporate environment, or is she looking at it as, this is kind of like for fun based on like what I do? Not that, like what she does is for fun, like she works, but more of a lax type environment or where they wouldn't play those kind of games, you know what I mean? And maybe she thought about it, but this is just kind of what I'm thinking in my mind, right? That, did she really think that it was going to be like this? It sounds like she didn't. She didn't think that if she signed a contract with them and went on maternity leave, that when she came back, she thought everything was going to be a-okay. Everything was cool. She picked her replacement, all of this. But this is where the game comes in because you know that DJ Envy and Charlamagne, they've been on that show for I don't know how long. You also have some insight into the show itself and maybe what the dynamics were. Why? Because Angela Yee was there for 13 years, and guess what she did? Went and left and started her own show, right? We heard little things here and there about what could have been happening with the dynamics between them, and even on kind of like the business side of the corporate world when it came to their dynamic. So we had a little bit of insight into what it could be, right? And maybe Jess took it into consideration. And sometimes when you envision or have a vision about what you want your career to look like, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you overlook the yellow flags. And Angela Yee being there for 13 years and then bouncing along with the things we were hearing that were happening that or they could have been happening with the dynamics would have been a yellow flag. Maybe not something for you to say, nah, I don't want to have a contract with them, but something for you to think about. Would you all agree? Right? And now sometimes in corporate spaces, it's not always about how good you are at your job. It's about who you know, and how well you play the game. I always say this: if you want to be in certain space, you gotta play the game, right? Right. So what are the unwritten rules? Did Jess see any of the unwritten rules? Right? Likability matters more than being competent. And this could be vice versa, depending on the space, right? Um, because Jess, again, we know her as being a comedian. Maybe she brings a little bit of flair and things like that to the show. If Lauren is coming from kind of like a news type of background or, things like this, right? She's kind of on that side, not so much on the comedic side or, maybe saying things that would be, I guess like viral things. She's bringing news, you know what I'm saying? And so, is it an unwritten rule based on what they are doing, right? When it comes to the likability, right? Now, here's another part of the game. You're going to, take a risk if you are out. This includes maternity leave. This includes if you are taking short-term disability. This includes if you're on workman's comp. This includes if you're doing FMLA. Any time that you are out of your workspace for a long period of time, you take a risk, especially in spaces like this, because they need somebody to do your job while you're out. Business does not stop because you are out, right? And so, okay, now you thinking everything good because you chose the person. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they know like, well, this is the person, but when I come back, I'm back on and all this stuff. They thinking from a business perspective, not from a likability perspective, not from a confidence perspective, not because the people in the comments or the audience saying, oh, we love Jess hilarious or we love Lauren. They looking at it from a business perspective. And remember when I talked about data, they're looking at the data and what is the data saying when you are out? That might be some information that Jess need to, be asking for. Okay, well, what do the numbers say? Not saying that it doesn't seem like they're talking about letting her go or anything like this, but just like for her own information, or if it gets to that point where they want to break the contract or something like this might be something that she looks at, right? All right. Right. Now, because here's another thing, you got the dynamics of two men on a show that have been there a long time. Then you got two women coming in, they're new to the men's space, right? And so both of them seem like they're successful in their own right, very high achieving in what they do and all of these things, right? Because Jess is coming back simply asking questions like, what's going on? What happened? Did anything change when I was out? Do I need to be updated on any replacements? Is this person going to stay with us? You know what I'm saying? Right? Simply because she's asking questions, she could be labeled as difficult. Because again, you're dealing with the corporate environment, right? And I mean, it is what it is. They'll look for any reason. Don't have anything to do with that. You all have the chemistry on the show, likability, and all these things, right? Right? Simply because you're asking questions, you could be labeled as difficult, or you could be labeled as not being a team player. And these would all be reasons. You're going to give them a reason to do what they want to do or do what they need to do when it comes to what they see in the data. You see what I'm saying? Right? If you don't really learn or understand the politics that go on in these corporate environments, you will keep getting, right? It's like they still want her to do her work. So you'll be for other people, for a lot of people, right? If you don't understand how to play the game, you're going to be overworked, overlooked, you're going to be underpaid. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, they still have expectations for you, right? But they won't answer any of your questions. You still don't really know what's going on. You're still kind of, and with your mind, if you don't really know what's going on here, nobody's really that able to answer the questions. Guess what you're going to do? Make it up. You're going to make it up, and your mind is going to take you where? To the worst place. Oh, she here to take my place. This was in the plan all along. Yeah, this is why they told me to find the person so they wouldn't have to. All kinds of stuff, right? But I'm wondering why they won't really give her any answers. It's like, why won't you give her the answers? It's like, what's the worst thing? She don't own the company. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is the problem with letting her know? Yes, we see that she's doing a really good job with this, so we're gonna change this up. You're really good at this, or we want you to try this or that. You know what I mean? Jess might be okay with it. Loren might be okay with it. It's like these are unwritten things. They say that they want collaboration, but are we really collaborating? They say they want a team player, but are we really playing as a team? You see what I'm saying? Tell me what you all think. All right, let's see. Right. Okay, so another thing, right, that I thought about was code switching is one thing when it comes to just being black in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? You feel like, you don't want to, but in order for you to play the game and do all this politicking, it automatically comes out. It's like a natural thing, right? But then also the idea, of the respectability politics when it comes to this as well, right? How companies say that they want diversity, but they still expect you to kind of fit the mold that they want you to fit in. You see what I'm saying? The pressure for you to be palatable, right? Going back to the code switching, right? Speaking the right way, dressing the right way, don't not being too opinionated, right? And Jess, I was listening to, she did like an Instagram live talking about, her thoughts about it and everything like that. And, she was saying that she wanted to like speak up and all of these things, and she did, but in a certain way she did it. But then here come Charlemagne knowing how this works because he been there and he been in other spaces where it ain't been right. So he know what it is, right? And she's saying he told her, no, just say it. Almost like playing to this narrative that y'all don't like each other. Why would you do that? Why? But that goes back to it not being a separation with Jess when it comes to work and the likability. You see what I'm saying? Work and her maybe being maybe I don't know if they're friends, you know what I'm saying, but just getting to know them and things like this, right? It's like, why would she play into that? Because it is a business. And this tells you, him telling her that tells you that, yeah, girl, this just work. Yeah, do whatever you need to do so we can get the ratings up. It's like Charlamagne and Envy been on this show, I don't know how long. They in my age group, like what, I don't know. Most people, do they listen to the radio anymore? I guess. I feel like radio has changed a lot. Like when I was a kid or, like teenager or, whatever, yeah, we used to listen to the radio, but now who listens to the radio? You know what I'm saying? Like you might look at what they talk about on social media, like they are the episodes are on YouTube, Instagram, all this stuff. But who actually in the car listening to the radio? I don't know. Maybe it could be a lot of people, but I just wonder, like, who actually listening to the radio? And with the generations that are coming up, are they talking about the same thing or care about the same thing that Charlamagne and Envy are talking about? Probably not. Like these men in their middle 40s getting to 50, like who talking about what y'all talking about? I don't, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's time for y'all to really revamp. And in that same vein, or is this what they're really trying to do? Maybe not them leaving, but always thinking about different things that are going to suit the business. Hit Loren comes. You see what I'm saying? Right? Something to think about, right? And now it doesn't seem like Jess Hilarious is because she has her own thing. She's a comedian. It seemed like she got her own thing where she got her own audience. She didn't go on a Breakfast Club to enhance her career. Like she already had something going. It sounds like it's just something that she wanted to um check off really. Like, wow, if I can get to the Breakfast Club, cool. If I can work at the Breakfast Club, cool. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't sound like anything that her corporate wasn't her end all be all. And she didn't think that, oh yeah, this is going to be safe for me, or I don't know, maybe she did, right? Of course, corporate in general, just off of Jess and Loren, right? In general, corporate is not job security. It's an illusion of it, but it is not. Layoffs, toxic work environments, being replaced, anytime you give pushback, right? It's an emotional toll, constantly having to prove yourself and still not feeling valued, right? If you don't have an exit strategy, you kind of gambling and taking a risk. You know what I mean? So then, in my opinion, as a coach, it's like for some people who are ready for it, because everybody's not ready for it and everybody doesn't want it. If you're gonna take a risk on that, you might as well take a risk on yourself. Y'all can start starting these businesses, right? Getting into your passions and your hobbies and things like that, trying it to at least try to get it off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right. Okay, so quickly, I'm going to give you all two things you can do because I gotta go. Two things you can do to, instead of playing the game, while planning how you're going to get up out of there. Right? What you can do, right? You can learn the strategies that are used in the corporate environment, right? Or you can get strategic, right? Don't work harder, work smarter. Keep your documentation, receipts for your wins, your ideas, right? All these shady things that are happening, keep your documentation just in case you need it, right? You want to build relationships, not just with those key people, but other people, the producers there, the executives there. You know what I'm saying? All the other top people that don't nobody see on the radio. Yeah, build those relationships, right? Also, of course, I talk about this all the time. You want to set your boundaries. You are definitely not your job, right? You need to protect your time and your mental health. Just like Jess was saying, okay, cool, she gonna do that. Let me just do what I was contracted to do and then get up out of here. That's what you do, right? But behind the scenes, you building those relationships. Behind the scenes, you taking notes on how this person does this, and that. Who the top producer here? Who's the top executive here? Who has the best ideas here? Who's the content strategist and all these things, right? So then, when you get to your own thing or you enhance what you already have outside of this, you got the people you can call to do some contract work for you. You see what I'm saying? Right? So you are building your exit strategy, even if you're not ready to leave yet. This is why I tell you guys all the time. You got to create multiple streams of income. You got to start your side hustles, your freelance work, or your investing, things like that, right? Of course, updating your resume and all of those things, right? Right? So right? I hope this was helpful for you, y'all. I gotta go. I wanted to just touch in real quick to talk about this and just like give my quick opinion about it. pretty much, suffice it to say that, listen, corporate ain't for everybody, right? And once you sign the contract, know what you're signing, right? Ask all the questions, negotiate the contract and all of these things, you know what I mean? And, like Jess said, it's okay to ask questions, but if you don't get your questions answered, that tells you all you need to know about what you need to do next. If you need coaching when it comes to your career or strategizing on what to do next, right? If you've got a career transition happening, you're looking for new work, you're trying to start a new career or a different one, right? And you need one-on-one coaching, you can contact me at the website you see here on the screen, www.expandinspirecoaching.com, right? You can find me on social media, especially Instagram and Threads. I'm usually active a little bit more on Threads at PLS Counseling. If you need therapy, I'm licensed in Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia really, really soon. I hope you all found this helpful and, insightful, a little bit different from things that I usually do on my channel. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.